The day my son told me I couldn't live alone anymore, something inside me broke. He said it gently, but the meaning was clear. To him, my life was shrinking. Before you scroll away, listen to me. What I'm about to tell you is the truth most people discover too late. And once you hear it, you won't see aging the same way again. Have you ever felt your freedom quietly questioned? Let me tell you my story. I'm 75 years old. For 40 years, I climbed the corporate ladder at a Fortune 500 company. I retired as a senior executive and believed I had life figured out. But losing my wife 7 years ago changed everything. The house became too quiet. Decisions felt heavier. And every day I asked myself the same question. Where do I belong now? When you reach your 70s, everyone suddenly has an opinion about your life. Move in with your children. Hire a caregiver. Go to a nursing home. They say it's for your safety. They mean well, but no one asks what you want. Have you noticed how quickly independence becomes a discussion instead of a right? At first, I tried living alone. I told myself I was fine. I could cook, drive, manage my bills. But slowly, my body began sending quiet warnings. My shoulder ached. Stairs felt steeper. Opening jars took effort. Then one night, I slipped in the bathroom. Nothing serious. But lying there, I thought, what if next time is worse? That fear pushed me to call my son. I asked if I could stay with him for a while. He didn't hesitate. His wife welcomed me. My grandchildren hugged me. The first week felt warm and hopeful. I thought this was the answer. Family dinners, laughter. But comfort can hide problems, and I didn't see them yet. By the second week, reality settled in. My son and his wife worked long hours. The kids had school and friends. I spent most days alone in their house, just like before. Except now I wasn't home. I was a guest. Have you ever felt lonely while surrounded by people? Small comments began appearing. Turn the TV down. Use less salt. Be careful with the kids' schedule. They weren't cruel, but every reminder felt the same. You are in the way. One night I overheard my daughter-in-law on the phone. She sounded exhausted. That conversation changed how I saw everything. That's when I understood something painful. Living with family doesn't always cure loneliness. Sometimes it makes it worse, because you feel like a burden instead of a person. I stayed 3 months, then moved back home. I needed my space, but going back didn't solve the problem either. Stay with me, because what happened next forced me to question every safe option people recommend. Back in my own house, I felt relief at first. I could breathe again. I wasn't in anyone's way. But that relief didn't last long. My body reminded me every day that I wasn't young anymore. My wrist hurt when I lifted pots. Cleaning exhausted me. The stairs felt like a daily test. I told myself I could manage, but deep down I knew something had to change. One afternoon I was changing a light bulb. My hands started shaking. The bulb slipped, and I grabbed the wall to steady myself. My heart raced. I stood there thinking, this is how people end up in the hospital. One small moment, one mistake. Have you ever had a second like that, where reality suddenly feels very close? That's when I looked into caregivers, not full-time. That felt too invasive, but maybe part-time help would work. 5 days a week, a few hours a day. The first caregiver was kind and professional. She cleaned, cooked simple meals, ran errands. After a while I relaxed. I thought maybe this is the answer everyone talks about. Then the bills arrived, $4,000 a month. My Social Security covered about half of that. I had savings, but watching them disappear month after month terrified me. I wasn't living better, I was just paying more to feel slightly safer. Have you ever realized too late that comfort can be very expensive? Money wasn't the only issue. I like my routines. I cleaned the kitchen right after breakfast. She preferred to do it later. Small differences, but they mattered. I started adjusting my habits in my own home. That bothered me more than I expected. Why was I changing for someone else under my own roof? Then she left because of a family emergency. Suddenly I had to start over with someone new. Different person, different habits, different energy. The third caregiver lasted a month, the fourth 2 weeks. Every time someone new walked through my door, I had to explain my life again. I was exhausted, not safer. One comment I'd read online stayed in my mind. Health is everything. If you're healthy, you can live anywhere. The problem starts when you lose freedom. That sentence hit me hard. I wasn't helpless yet. So why was I paying thousands to live like I was? I canceled the service. That's when my son suggested the nursing home. Clean rooms, meals included, medical staff nearby, $3,000 a month. Just try it, he said. 1 month. I agreed, mostly because I was tired of fighting every option alone. Stay with me, because what that place took from me mattered more than anything it offered. The first week in the nursing home didn't feel terrible. The room was clean. Meals arrived on time. Other residents smiled and shared stories. I told myself I could adapt. But by the second week, something felt wrong. My days were no longer mine. Wake-up time, meals, lights out. Everything followed a schedule I didn't choose. One night I wanted to stay up and read. At 9, the hallway lights dimmed. A nurse knocked and said it was time to sleep. I was 75 years old being told when to go to bed. That moment stayed with me. Safety felt less like protection and more like permission being taken away. A few days later, I tried to walk outside. The air was cool, the sky clear. A staff member stopped me. Outdoor time ended at 7, she said. Policy. That word followed me everywhere. Policy decided when I ate, slept, and walked. I wasn't sick enough to need this, yet I lived as if I had already lost my independence. After 3 weeks, I called my son. I told him I was leaving. He reminded me I'd agreed to stay a month. I told him this wasn't living. I'd rather struggle at home than feel comfortable in a cage. The day I walked out, the sunlight felt different. I felt human again. Back home, I felt lighter but also stuck. I had tried everything. Family, caregivers, nursing homes. None of them worked. For days, I sat on my porch and watched life move around me. Then one afternoon, walking past a school, I saw a young mother pacing, clearly overwhelmed. Without planning it, I offered to help. That small offer changed everything. I began picking up her child after school. In return, she helped me with errands and meals. Neighbors started helping each other. No contracts, no schedules, just people supporting people. I realized I didn't need to be taken care of. I needed to still matter. That's the truth no one tells you. Aging doesn't mean choosing between isolation and control. There's a middle path, community, purpose, mutual help. Money can buy services, but it can't buy connection. I live simply now, but I feel more alive than I did in years. If this story made you stop and think, take a second to like this video. It helps these stories reach people who need them. And if you want to hear more honest stories about aging, independence, and living with dignity, consider subscribing. I'll be here, sharing what most people only realize when it's almost too late.